Hey, and we are live. Hello, I'm Cole, and I'm here today with my co-host Blake. Blake, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
Dude, I am doing pretty okay. We went and had burritos tonight. There's a restaurant down the road, and they have burrito and margarita nights on Tuesday. So it's
Ooh,
like $11 for a burrito and a margarita.
that's solid.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the burrito is fine. It's nothing that you're gonna write home about. But for $11, and the kids' meals are like $6, I think we got chips and cheese and left there like just under $50.
Are you a queso blanco or a weird yellow queso person?
I mean, I don't really care. Whatever you got, I'm into it. Cheese is cheese to me. They're all good. Like
Dude, that makes me. Cheese is not. I mean, all cheese is pretty good, but like
yeah,
I don't know.
all cheese is good.
Queso
Right?
blanco has like a special. Like when I
It's
see a
definitely better.
good white nacho sauce, like
Well, that would be my preferred. It's not usually what you get, so I'm fine with the yellow stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, but hey, I think we're here to talk about a book. But let's say
Are
hello
we?
to
Wait,
some
did you
people in
guys
the
do you
chat.
guys want to talk about burritos and queso, or do you want to talk about
Yeah,
comics?
so I'm gonna scroll through the chat. You guys can let us know. Do you want to hear us talk about burritos and a very minimal amount of comics, or mostly comics and a minimal amount of burritos? But our first comment is from Las Cruces. Hello from Mexico. Hey, Las Cruces, how are you doing?
What's up, dude?
Kelly and Jordan Squad. David, how are you doing? And
And
he
the
said,
comments are
yeah.
popping off.
Yeah.
We
Are you
haven't
able
even.
to listen to Blake read a book? I'm not 100% certain Cole can. Well, the good thing is there's pictures in this, so loosely I interpret what I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, in
safe.
the entertainment.
I write notes for him beforehand.
Yeah,
I'm
he
kidding.
does.
We don't.
He doesn't
We
write
don't.
notes.
We don't
He
prep that hard.
draws pictures that are notes. They better be done in different voices for each character. So I kind of did that a little bit. So my daughter, I've been reading Scooby Team Up with Batman on the DC Ultra platform. It's a sideways one. So you
Huh.
don't read it normal, you read it sideways. So it's pretty quick. Like each issue takes about like 7 minutes only because I'm saying it in different voices. But there's Scooby and Batman mostly in those. Comics by the Bay agreed. So, well, good thing is we're not reading it. So
Yeah, this
hopefully I
isn't.
don't have.
This
We're
isn't a
not
live
doing a read
read.
along. All right. Hey lads, who is ready for this? I'm
ready. Jinx by Miko.
Yeah, we're both ready. What is going on? We got Trev the shipping guru in here. He's also a big Chiefs fan. So
Nice.
Cole getting his notes for this book. Yeah. Yeah, we got Comic Addicts. He heard burritos, so he's pretty excited. Blake, do you have to explain the big words to Cole? On a good note, I don't
We
think
have to Google the definitions because neither of us know the big words.
Well, so what we do is we actually Google the definition and we hit the play button so it reads it to us and the pronunciation. And we've got the Geek Collective.
What's up,
baby? But yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
people
thank you,
here. This is cool. Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, and so the one thing is we are going to be doing a giveaway.
We are.
So we're going to give away the first trade of this book. So most likely the way that we're going to do it though is that I'm probably just going to send it from Amazon because it's the easiest way. So if you're outside of the US and maybe we can work something out. I don't know if you have Comixology. If you do, we can buy it for you there and do it there. If there is a place that we can ship it from that's fairly easy, we might do that too. But we're doing that. So from our own self. So I'm going to put a little scroller down at the bottom.
Little scroll action.
And we'll do that at the
like
end.
a butt sack. I like this Comic Addicts guy. He speaks my language.
So yeah, if you just put hashtag Grim in there, you'll have a chance to win this. So yeah, we're gonna probably go in. Usually what we do is when we do spoilers, I will throw up a spoiler tag for you all. So it looks like this. So when we're talking spoilers, it'll say warning spoilers. So hopefully, oh, that wasn't what I meant to do. So hopefully, you don't get ruined. And for the most part, this book does have, I think, some pretty big cliffhanger / spoilers, so maybe we won't go into that, right? We're going to go into some of the stuff, but we're not probably going to go into some of like the super crazy spoilers. So I mean, this book, unlike certain books, like the book last week didn't really have any like huge reveals. I guess it had one, and we really didn't talk about it or really talk about not talking about it. We just really didn't. But yeah, so this is Grim. It
Yeah, no,
is.
this one has there's some big plot bangers that happen in volume one. That I definitely want our listeners and potential winners to get the most out of it, because it's a fun book. It's a fast paced. It's an easy read, and as I'm sure we'll talk about it later, it is pretty. It's a very
Yeah.
pretty book.
So I'll quick read the synopsis for you guys of this. This is Grimm Volume 1. It is a soft cover, and it is Jessica Harrow's untimely death is a mystery, but her journey as one of the many Reapers in the afterlife has only begun. Join Jessica as she discovers the secret of the beyond and finds out what happens to the Grim Reaper himself. Acclaimed writer Stephanie Phillips from Harley Quinn, fan favorite artist Flaviano from New Mutants present the new collective of the widely sold out smash hit that fans haven't been able to get enough of, a bold new version of what comes after and the nature of death itself. Collects Grimm's issue 1 through 5. So the one thing too that I don't know that we mentioned is that Rico, what is Rico's last name? Rico Renzi? Rico Renzi is on
I'm trying to
colors.
pull up the press list I just read.
Yeah, they don't.
Rico Renzi, yeah.
Yeah, Rico Renzi, and I forget who was on words because it does not specifically say that in here. But
Tom Napolitano is
Tom.
letters.
Thank you for doing that. I probably definitely would have not gotten that right. So
I commit and go with it, and if I'm wrong, I tried. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Nick? Yeah, I heard there. I was looking at the weather. We kind of mentioned it earlier before we got on. Yeah, it's supposed to be we got a winter weather advisory. It's supposed to be from like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. here. And Travis, I think I said hello to you, but if I didn't, hello, Travis. But yeah, once again, everyone, there is a scrolling ticker down below. It tells you how to get into the giveaway. We'll be giving away volume 1 of this. So far, what were your first thoughts of this book? What is your high pitch? No real spoilers. How do you feel about this?
So I'm a bad Stephanie Phillips fan, because I really do enjoy her work. I got to interview her, several episodes back. She was wonderful to talk to. It was great. I love her Harley Quinn, yada yada yada. This was my first time. I kept kind of putting it off. And I know as a comic reviewer, that's really bad to say. One of Boom's top comic books. I just kept I'll read it next week or next month. I'll read it next month. Anyways, I didn't read it. This was until I read the trade when we talked about doing this. And so I had stayed away from spoilers. I'm not a big solicit nerd, right? I don't hound over the solicits. So even those spoilers don't get to me a lot of times. And everything was real fresh and real different. And just I didn't know what to expect. It was lighter in tone than I thought it was going to be. And it's not funny, right? And it's got great tension and drama, but it's I was thinking full blown horror, right? Kind of what was my idea of it. And then this whole society of Reapers and the new rules on death and how these Reapers work. And I don't know, that was really I really dug that. It reminded there was a show that got canceled forever ago called Reapers, and it was a comedy, but it was about the new Grim Reaper, and he had little helpers, and I don't know. It was really cool, and like I said, it read real fast, and in the art, just from the first page, you can't ignore this powerhouse art team, and it's so pretty. That really, I love Steph's writing, but man, that art was in the colors, Rico's colors. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I would say the colors were probably up there with some of the best stuff. And so if you didn't pick that up, Three Good Nerds, from what Blake was just saying, when he dropped the word Reaper multiple times, it's spelled Grim, 1 M, and this is Grim Reaper, not Grim Fairy Tales.
Yes.
So I mean, my definite thoughts. I too am a pretty big Stephanie Phillips fan. I've been a big fan of her Harley Quinn. I'm still 7 issues behind, but only not because I wanted to. I read this first issue, but I think I grabbed it because there was a ton of hype. People were like, "It's gonna sell out," so I grabbed the first issue just in case. I didn't want to fall in love with this book and not be able to get it. So one of the things that I did was I read that first issue, but I read it so far behind. I probably read it when issue like 2 or 3 was out, and then I was like, "You know what? I'm so far behind on my comic reading." Like, that first issue was okay, but I don't know that I need to read it. And it was like one of those times too where sometimes maybe you're just crunching what you're
Mhm.
reading, right? So like not maybe everything is good. But yeah, so I would say same with you. I would say probably my favorite part of this is some of the art. The coloring really, really gets it. Like the skice from the Reapers, like some of
Yeah.
them, they have different colors, and those colors just pop a
They pop
lot.
up right off the page. It looks like it's got like LEDs in it. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
glowing.
And yeah, it was fun. I would say that this book overall, I kind of assumed it was going to be like this book is similar things to like Something is Killing the Children, and
Yeah.
they're both like horror-ish books, but like Something is Killing the Children has, at least from the 5 issues that I've read of this, Something is Killing the Children hits those horror elements a little bit more, where this
Yeah.
is more like an action adventure book, I think, that has horror. Like, I mean, they're Grim Reapers, right? They're dealing with death. There's like one big bad that is just this like kind of giant demon called the End.
Which
And
is
like,
so metal.
yeah, but like even he's not like super, super scary in the general sense of things, you know? Um,
He
but yeah,
actually looked so cool. I like wanted his wanton destruction, right? I was like, stay here and murder like, yes, like
yeah.
it's like you're awesome. I like it. So yeah, anyways, you go on. But I did
Oh,
like the end a lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that was pretty much what I had. And yeah. So we have been asked if those are Gucci sunglasses with a B in the middle. I assume that they're not, because you
They
told me
are
you bought them on
definitely
Amazon.
definitely not. Now, the real designer B sunglasses are what was my friend showed me, and he was like, "You need these," and I looked them up, and they were like $350, and I was like, "Well, I don't need them that bad." And then I got on Amazon Prime and found these bad mammer jammers for $17. And then finally, I bent and adjusted the frames because the first time I wore them, because these Beats headphones don't smash my giant head, and in like a 2-hour live stream, dude, these like cut into my ear, and like it was like raw and hurt, and I was like, fuck these sunglasses, man. And then of course everyone likes them, right? They're like,
Yeah.
dude, those sunglasses are so cool, man, buzz buzz. And I was like, well, I gotta keep wearing them. And then so like I'm trying to bend them one day, and I was like, man, they're $16 if I break them, fuck it. And I finally got them adjusted, and anyways, now I can not hurt myself trying to be all stylish and shit. Hashtag Grim, put it in the
Hashtag Grim.
chats.
If you put it in the chat, you have a chance to win this first trade. And once again, this trade technically doesn't come out from Amazon for another week, but
Yeah.
I'll just order it after this and send it to you. So, you know, whatever. But
Yeah.
this is up. No one's put it in. So that's how you do it. If you want to join it, you do.
Just
If
you
no
just
one
type
joins
it.
it, then I'm just going to end up sending it to myself. And then I'm gonna destroy it.
I mean, yeah, man, you read the digital copy, you know, get to treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
I do feel like with the numbers this is pulling and the creative team behind it, I definitely feel like here in several months, like we'll probably get like a 12 issue to 15 issue hardcover like Boom has been doing. This is on track to be in line of, because they've done Once and Future, and they've done Something is Killing the Children. I feel like, and then like Power Rangers, and now we've got Claws.
Well, Kloss, the original one, got one too, which
Yeah, those all
was
released hardcover and then
Yeah.
got re-released as a more expensive hardcover. Man, it's hard to be an omnibus hardcover fan these days. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys nerd out on that? Like I'm buying less and less single issues, which I'm lucky because I work for Peanuts, right? And Peanuts, I mean PDF review copies. So I do still get a lot of new comics, even though I'm not at the shop every Wednesday. And but I'm the fancy hardcover deluxe edition oversized, like I love that shit, man. It's just looks so good on the shelf.
Yeah, it does. I will agree with that.
Anyway, no one's won yet.
You guys no one has won. We're gonna do it probably at the end. So
yeah,
you
guys got to hang out for all 4.5 hours. We're gonna go wild tonight and announce the winner at the end.
Once I did not sign up for that, but oh crap. That comment got away from me. But also trim, brim, and prim also will not work. And also a grim job will also not work. Also, if you do the grim,
we should give it to Grim Job though. Like that's a good one. Damn it.
But yeah, so the main character, Jess, I think is, and I'm probably gonna say that when it comes down to it, I mean, this book has to and has been almost immediately been getting references to Something is Killing the Children, right? It's a
Mm,
female lead. It is a monstery horror style book, which the two main characters are very different. I think, Erica Slaughter, while she might be like not knowing what she wants to do, like she very much knows everything of what she is.
yeah,
Whereas Jess or Jessica, I forget, I think they call her Jess sometimes.
both
Sometimes she goes
Jess or
by
Jessica.
Jessica, but
She gets called Jessica at the end during a time and a person that we're not going to talk about,
well,
but it's
she
mostly
introduces
Jess.
herself as Jessica to the guy, and like, so she kind of comes out and she's talking to this guy as they're rolling down the river Styx, if that's what he wants to believe
Oh,
it is.
that's right.
And she
Yeah.
says, "I'm Jessica Harrow," or yeah, I think that's yeah. But anyway, and so um she doesn't really know. That's her biggest thing. Everyone that has died, and that's what you learn in this first issue. Everyone that has died knows how they die, and she does not.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mask Panther.
Hello,
Thank you for
Mass
stopping by.
Panther.
And yeah, I will be the Magnum PI of the YouTube comic world if you would like me to. And once again, hit hashtag Grim if you haven't already, because there
Hashtag
is a
Graham.
chance
Join the
to
contest,
yeah
guys. Free
join the
comics,
contest.
buds. Free
So
comics.
yeah, thank you for doing that, Kenneth Bird.
Oh,
But yeah, so issue one starts off with kind of that. You kind of get this introduction to her, and you meet kind of the cast of characters. She has two friends. I think one is named Eddie.
the metal guy.
Yeah, the metal guy, I think his name is Eddie, and I do
Yeah.
not remember the other guy's name. It
Yeah,
is
it's
French.
yeah.
Marsulio would be what I would guess if I were to guess. So you can leave that in the comments. Scrolling if you know his name. He is actually the one character of the two of them that I probably would prefer. He just, I don't know, the new metal hair metal guy is kind of annoying to me.
It's interesting, but there is a big there's a musical element to
Yeah,
all these comics. There's a lot of music lyrics, and then of course, we got the side friend fellow Reaper who's like Guns N' Roses type, metal hair band ready to rock and roll at any given time. Uh and so they keep hitting you over the head with it. There's a lot of music. And I know Steph's a big music fan and a big, like when she fights, when she does her MMA, she comes out to like I don't know what Elvis song it is, but she comes out to an Elvis song. So like she likes rock, she likes old school rock. Music's important to her, which we obviously see in the script. And the shout out to Tom, the letterer, does a good job, the way he puts the music lyrics in the script. It's not cumbersome. It doesn't just it kind of works. But it's interesting. I kind of wanted to ask you and kind of bounce it off, like this music and death notion, right? Like it's just two themes and two like plot devices that don't get rid of through 5 issues and
yeah,
more.
yeah.
What did you think about like the musical part of it?
So music in comics has always been kind of, I don't know, I don't love it necessarily. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think for me, depending on how it's done, it can really ruin the way that it's like a script moves, right? The way that you
Hmm.
read the book. Because like I know there's certain times where like Tom King kind of does this
He does it a
sometimes,
lot.
where there's like music, there's a narrative, and there's dialogue. None of them have anything to do with each other. And like I like that in some aspects, but I also hate that in some
Yeah.
aspects because it's almost like I've got to read the comic 3 times. One, I'm going to figure out the song first, then
Hmm.
I'm going to go through the narrative, and then I'm going to read the dialogue, and then maybe I'll try it all at once. And sometimes, it moves quicker because you're doing it that way. But this one didn't really. It worked in a way that I don't think it was necessarily cumbersome. It did not
Yeah.
really slow the move. Did it? If it wasn't there, would the story be different? I don't think it really like necessarily added anything for me. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And maybe, I don't know the music as much, but it's kind of funny because there was one time where they're like listening to music, and then the Eddie character is like, "Oh, you don't know this song?" Where it's like, he's almost referencing the song that you're
Yeah.
hearing, whereas some of the times, um, it doesn't, I guess, move. I don't know. Like it some of the times that music isn't necessarily like part of what the characters are listening to. It's just like something there for the script purpose, I guess.
And sometimes, because I like the idea of using lyrics, but I, you know, sometimes, and like you said, it really controls the pace. If you really feel it, as if you know the song, very rarely do I ever know any of the fucking music in these comics that they're referencing,
Yeah.
right? That's another part I feel left out on. And then if you Google it, right, then it takes you out of your reading space momentarily and you get back into it. But now you're adding another step to your reading process and you're distancing yourself from the novel before, or from the work before you can get back into it, which like can affect pacing. And just when you're in the zone, you don't want to distract yourself, right? And so, like, very rarely do I recognize the music, and also very rarely do, like, the quoted lyrics really, like, impact the narrative that
Yeah.
so I don't I dream of writing a comic book sometimes. And like, I write a lot of comic book reviews and I like to write, and that's never been, when I was writing short stories and stuff, like, I would that was never, I never really quoted other authors or poets or any of that. I just wrote, like, dialogue and scene. And I never, that wasn't like my jam. But it's definitely like a new vibe, especially music and music
Yeah.
lyrics. Like, I see more and more and more so it's not going away. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like it, then, like, batter up, because it's they're going to be throwing another pitch, and it's going to have fucking music lyrics written all over it. But it's not going anywhere. So I'm learning to adapt,
Yeah.
and I'm learning to, like, not let it distract me. Like, where if I'm feeling it, cool. If I'm not feeling it, like I said, in this one, I can appreciate what the letterer did. It looks pretty on the page. It kind of it dresses everything up, and oftentimes makes it feel a little lighter or a little more emotional. Which, like, this comic moves kind of quickly, and it wasn't until towards the end, when, like, the emotion, or towards the end of the trade, that the emotional beats really started hitting, and some of the stakes
Got higher.
kind of escalated. And so I think this trade is actually, um and I've always kind of been more of a trade waiter, right? Like, I like reading things. I like binging things, reading 5 or 4 to 6 issues at a time. Or even, as, like, if it's a new series, like, at least reading, like, the first 2 or 3 issues. Cause a first issue, it's hard to get right all the time. And there's a lot of times where, if you don't necessarily dig the first issue,
Yeah.
you may be like, never
What's going
mind.
on with this?
And then, even if you plan to pick up the trade, you get distracted. You see a butterfly, you see a shiny object, a lightning
Or
bug
another
lights
trade
up.
comes out that's better,
Oh yeah,
right?
or yeah, like,
Or at this point, I've
something
already
else.
waited. I forgot about it. Should I just wait for the hardcover of the deluxe?
Yeah. Or do I
Um,
do I wait for the comics on? What's up,
Yeah,
Ignacio?
we got Ignacio here. Yeah, we were talking about
We
you
were just
earlier.
talking about you earlier, about how I owe you comics and
Yeah.
haven't sent them.
Ma- Manny was talking about Radio Apocalypse. Did you read
The-
Radio Apocalypse?
It just has one issue, right?
I think I read that issue and I didn't love it, but I know
I
a lot of
didn't
people
read
really
it.
liked
I
it.
have it. I have the foil. I pre-ordered the foil cover, so, like, I have, like, but yeah, I remember I heard a rumor that a certain writer of that comic is not happy about only having one issue out, and there's some, like, drama
Oh,
behind
interesting.
that.
Hey, what's
I
going
know
on, hobbyist?
I have no basis for that, right? I just heard people talking.
Yeah. Well, if you hobbyist, I think you're new here too. Looks like Ignacio got in, but for everyone else, if you enter hashtag Grim into the live chat, you will be entered in this giveaway. We'll be giving away this trade after we have everything going on.
And, like we've mentioned, this trade is a great way to read it,
Yeah.
because the first issue was good, but as the series moves on, so much more stuff starts happening, and it's paced very well, and it's actually structured very well. So, like, nothing ever feels like too much. Like, the more when you start getting these bigger pieces of information, but, like Cole mentioned earlier, it all starts with this notion of, like, all the Reapers know how they die, and they remember this. And this one Reaper, Jess, who's the star of the graphic novel, she can't remember it. And as soon as you learn that, then, like, the pieces start falling
Into place.
and you start aligning the edges, right, and filling in your puzzle. And that is one of the things I'm really excited for. So, like, this is issue 1 through 5. 6 and 7 are out now. You can buy them. Say you went to the comic shop tomorrow, you could pick up volume 1 and then pick up issues 6 and 7. And then issue 8 will be out at the beginning of February. If you subscribe to the Buzz Stack, which you should, blakesbuzz.com will take you there. I released a preview today, which was very odd that well, I guess it's not that odd because the trade released today, but
Yeah.
I told Cole, I was like, oh, this came out at a good time. Like I'll drop this press release and link link tonight's show, so it all just kind of like wonderfully fell together like a Tool song. The pieces fit.
I actually
fall away.
I mean, it's not really Tool, but it is close enough. But I used the song Judah in one of the posts that I made. I don't know why, but I used that. And that's kind of Tool. It's Tool adjacent, right?
It's Tool. It's Maynard's in it. That's good. You know,
which he went to college that's in the town that I live in.
You mentioned that in one of our numerous group chats. Yeah. Look at that cover though.
So I didn't do a lot of work before this to show off some of the art, but this is what the art looks like, and these are kind of the colors that we're talking about. This is definitely a little bit
Jen
more
Bartel-esque.
Yeah, this is, and I'm just throwing up the spoilers at this point because we're about probably like halfway through. Hey, welcome Sinbad, and welcome Sleepy Reader. Once again, we've got a giveaway we're going to give away the first trade. So if you want to put hashtag Grim in there, feel free to join that. And when we have the spoilers here, we're just going to talk about some of these plot points, right? We're probably not going to go into, there's a few big reveals. We're not going to go into those. We're just going to talk about some of the stuff that happens within this. So, hey, what's going on, John W?
Thank you
for stopping by.
Mr. John Westoff, part of Pod Time Comics.
And thank you for that, David. I know that you have a wrench. I don't know. I'll have to probably give more people wrenches the more that I do live streams. But I think the thing that I really liked about this and how it moves is that Jess is a very compelling character. You don't know much about her, and you're starting to slowly figure it out. I think for me personally, the first 2 issues, if I would have just probably read those, I don't know that I would have been fully in line yet.
Yeah.
The 3rd issue is kind of where this really ramps up.
Yeah.
And I think we've both kind of talked about it. This definitely seems like it's great for a trade. And I mean, to be completely honest, almost every single comic book is great for a trade. For me, some of the ones that I don't necessarily love reading in trade and I like reading more in a monthly format is and this is weird because Tom King goes both ways on this, right? There's certain books of his that I want to read all at once because it's hard to remember, but there's other books of his where I have to almost digest it, right? I need like a month to think about what happened. I think this is like fairly, I had told Blake before this, I read this twice. So I read this, I think I started on Sunday and finished it on Monday, or I don't even know when
I'm pretty sure he read part of it after last week's show when we both talked for an hour and a half after and got drunk and then decided to do this. And then he texted me in the morning, or he Discorded me in the morning. He was like, I was up too late reading Grimm and getting drunk. And I was like, nice. Like, as soon as we got off the air last week,
I read it Wednesday or Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I came back and I read I reread it all this today in like a speed read fashion, right? Like this book kind of too, like it's definitely not as quick as like Firepower, but when you kind of already know what's going on,
it's quick.
You can skim the dialogue. It took me probably like 35 minutes on a second read.
There's a lot of big panels too.
Like there's a lot of big panels,
which I'm glad because this art team needs all the space. Like, give them all the space.
I would say too, the art. We both kind of touched on that. The art is one of the best parts of this. I think everything from the art itself to the coloring, right? Like it's like, and even the words, the letters in this are one that kind of stick out. There's some cool things that one of the things you can kind of tell with Jess that is kind of a reveal, but it's not really like a reveal that matters anything, is she does this crazy skull face thing. You can see half of it here. And maybe that kind of turns into something that could maybe sort of go somewhere, but they don't really get into it too much in this book or in these first 5
they're
issues.
Scared of it though. I like that. I like her best friends are like physically, emotionally uncomfortable when she gets irritated and her skull face takes over and it barks and it yells and the lettering reflects that too. And it's just like
it's a black thought like speech bubble with pink font, whereas normally everything is just white and black, white bubble with black words. So
there's a lot of just really intriguing elements. It's like there's I always bring up like the Blooming Onion like phenomenon, right? There's always layers to an onion. When you fry it, you just pull more away. But this isn't, you're not pulling more away. This one is, it's being like cleverly dropped in your lap. Like you're on this ride, and then you learn this, and then you're like, okay, and then you learn this, and then you're like, holy shit, and then you learn that. You just keep learning these things. And kudos to Steph for like the way she gives you information about Jess, also builds this world, this like this afterlife world, right? That we're not, that's totally different than, I don't know, like so the very beginning in the novel, when we first see the afterlife in that opening scene, when we meet Jess and they're going across the river Styx, and the guy's annoying her, and she's having to answer all these questions because he keeps asking, about like, what do you mean I'm dead? I don't remember dying, blah, blah, blah. When they get to like the area after the river, and there's like the big floating orb with all the numbers, and she's like, yeah, look for your name and your number. Bye. And I was like, oh my, like, I was so like modern, like Target shopping experience vibe, right? And I really loved that. And that's your first like bread crumble of like, okay, this is, like, this isn't your normal like creation story spinoff of like the typical heaven, the typical hell, the typical Grim Reaper. It's, so there's, right there is when like you really kind of start to be like, okay. And then like after that, we just keep getting bits and bits of more information. The world gets bigger and bigger. I wish I could tell you guys about, there's like 3 big reveals in the last couple issues, and like it just like Bill, and I won't tell you, but like the series where it's going to go once we really learn what's happening. I'm very excited for this. I have no idea how long it's supposed to run. I feel like they're ready to give it however many issues it wants.
Yeah, I think it's their next big book, right? It seems like they can give
there's so many variants. Oh my God, there's so many variants.
Hey, what's going on, Durs? If you haven't seen already, we do have a giveaway to win this trade. So for you or anyone else that has joined, just put in #Grim.
#Grim.
But yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's kind of cool too as you meet it. Like, we still don't in this first issue like figure out the answer to like how did she die, and I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe if we'll ever figure that out. Personally, we don't really know.
It's a good question.
I mean, there is something that could be there. Hey, what is going on, Bearded Comic Bro?
Bearded Comic Bro is here.
Yeah, he is another big fan of Stephanie Phillips too. So yeah, once again, this trade only collects issues 1 through 5. And while I say that we're in a spoiler area, I think for the most part, we're just kind of more going into details of this book and what's happening. This book does have some big reveals, so we'll try not to do that.
Do you think, would it be okay to talk about, we're done unsubscribing to your YouTube channel. Do you think, I'm so scared for Sunday, guys. Their Bengals are so good, and so are we, right? Like you can tear
the homie's foot
tear Pat's foot off, and he'll still play, right? He'll still get out there and hop around and scare the shit out of you for an hour. But we have lost to the Bengals like 3 times in a row, 2 or 3 times in a row. We just can't fucking beat these little baby cats, these little meowers. We can't beat them.
Yeah, I mean, we can all agree that the Bengals are not in the top. They're not the top 1 dopest cat mascot for football, because we all know that's a lion. But they're at least in the, I was like, it'd be funny if it was the Jags versus the Bengals, and I could say it's the battle for the 2nd and 3rd best cats, because the Panthers are not.
Yeah,
they're the bottom.
It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah,
other than I have to work.
Both
Saturday,
those games should be good.
It's gonna be some good football.
I don't know. The 49ers to me might be scary. I don't know. I don't really know. The Eagles are good, but the 49ers might be scary.
Yeah, I just, there's a lot of good teams out right now. I'm just glad like things are different.
Oh, Benjamin is a little scared. So
hey, Ben, what's up, dude? How you been? I haven't
and once
talked to you
again,
in a while.
It looks like we got a lot of new people, so make sure that you're putting in that #Grim. What is going on, Flo Dameron? I know a lot of people have talked about how I've helped them work on shorts. So if you don't know Flo Dameron, he is the person that is loosely like, I was doing shorts, but he really sherped me into the way of like aggressively going after them the way that I have been lately.
I need to get how you are, Cole, because I know. So like when I say this is you like post videos like I do. You use it like Twitter almost. You're like,
Yeah.
I got
Well,
this
that's the
idea. I'm
thing.
going to post this quick video. I'm going to talk about something and post it. And I have this mentality of like, I have to like plan this thing and get graphics and transitions and
You don't
script it
even need
maybe
that. You
even.
did no, we just do it on the you'll figure it out. And also Flash Ray. Haven't seen you in a while, but hope you're doing all right. And yeah, Niners. Yeah, the Niners seem scary to me, but they also probably loosely have the worst quarterback out of everyone. I mean, but who knows? Their quarterback could be the best quarterback. We don't even know. Only Panther
Well,
is the Sex Panther. Yeah, Eagles. We got
that smells like
Eagles are
straight
the best
gasoline.
people, just afraid to give Hurts the props. Yeah.
I love this football tangent. There's so many. So I'm not like a huge sports buff, right? I was raised a Kansas City fan. I was a Kansas City fan when it was hard, right? When like I remember when my
Don't
parents
talk
had
about
season
being a
tickets.
fan and having it be hard because I'm a Lions fan. And Bearded is a Bengals fan, which loosely, like up until last year, the
Yeah, it
Bengals
was
were
that was
loosely the
that,
Lions.
so yeah, you guys all know it's like
Yeah.
when your heart's with a when your heart's with someone who tears it out of your chest all the goddamn time, right? But like I remember when my parents had season like club level season tickets and there were weeks where like you couldn't give them away.
Yeah.
We're like, man, we don't want to go. Like, and you're calling your friends and you're like, do you want Chiefs tickets? And they're like, I think I'll just stay home. Like, and you know, it was just like a totally different world. And so yeah, so I'm not a big giant sports guy, but I do love football. I do love the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's always fun to find comic and football fans because I feel like there's a big comic book wrestling like amalgamation going on, and but like other sports kind of get left out of a lot of like nerd discussion and discourse. So it's always fun to find football fans, even if they like the other teams.
And yeah, Steve had Grim up there in his top. And welcome, Steve. Steve Hayner is one of my favorite people. So thank you for stopping by, Steve. Yeah, I don't know. This is a book that I definitely didn't read until this week. I read issue 1. So I definitely enjoyed it. I think I personally am glad that I waited in trade.
Yeah,
I think we both
totally
discussed that. And also, Rolando, welcome. And yeah,
Hello.
for everyone down here too, hashtag Grim, make sure you're putting that into the live chat. If you want to win a copy of this. I've been around just unaware completely where people are. Yeah, that's kind of hard. I kind of created this channel off of like doing random thoughts that I had when I was staying up until 2 a.m. with my son. So
why were you and your son partying until
well, he was loosely 2 months old and just didn't sleep normally.
Okay.
I think the Lions fans are the only ones who've had a bad time as a Cincy fan. Well, what about the Browns? The Browns are pretty awful. And now the Browns are even in a weirder space because do you even like want to root for your quarterback if you're the Browns? Like he's the kind of person that if maybe he were killed and one of these Reapers were to come to find him, maybe he'd reconsider a lot of the thoughts and choices that he made. Yeah, that's the only thing that I maybe wish there might have. And I get how this book took off and how it moved, but it would have been cool. Maybe I would have liked it a little bit more to be able to see like a few issues more of them just being Reapers and
like standard operating procedure.
Yeah, a little bit more standard operations. Granted, who knows, that could come into play. Like it would be cool to have just an issue like how does Eddie bring somebody in, right?
Yeah.
How do these other Reapers bring people in and kind of see that? That would be like a cool random one shot maybe, or even like a back matter thing.
See, that's what's crazy is that's what they're setting this up as. And James could do it too with Something Is Killing the Children, but they could do like what Nottingham is doing with an anthology.
Like House of Slaughter.
This is like spinoffs. This is like rife with possibility of like spinoffs, of anthologies, of one shots, and like what like there's a very cool world that like I would definitely be happy seeing more of. But I'm with you, dude, because I feel like that the way we start this comic is Jess being a Reaper, is annoyed at this as this freshly dead entitled motherfucker's questions, and he won't shut up, and she's like feeling like the monotony of her job, right? And she's like, I'll tell you whatever you like.
Stop talking. I'm annoyed with
shut up. Like, I'll tell you whatever you want. One more question, just quit talking, and like you totally relate to her in that moment, which is really, even though like this is, I always talk about this, how great writers use cliche to their advantage. So like this is dialogue and a conversation we've heard before, but it's made different because it's happening on the river Styx by a Grim Reaper and her freshly collected soul, right? And so that element makes this cliche different. And but anyways, right then you're like, oh, anybody who follows me know, like, I love my job so much. Of like, oh fuck, I totally like get this. Like, I don't like my job. I know that day job Hillary so well. And I'm like, yeah, like fuck that. I wish I could like please shut up. I wish I could like tell people that. And so you instantly connect to this character like right away. But anyways, going back to what Cole said, I'm sorry, I go all over the place. But it's weird that we start this off in, like I said, standard operating procedure where we're picking up a soul and seeing how the Grim Reapers work. And we don't stay there. We stay there actually for almost like a large portion of an issue. And then things ramp off and go from like, 8 to 11 out of 10. But it's weird that we don't come back to this. Like, because it's obviously important. If it wasn't important, the comic book wouldn't have started there, like, so like you said, maybe we'll go back to it, or maybe we'll see how the other characters collect souls and learn more about them and learn something that, we need to know for the future. But yeah, it's weird that their Reaper job kind of like just kind of vanishes and becomes unimportant, which how can that be unimportant when you're a Reaper?
Yeah.
It's like your sole purpose.
Well, and like that's a weird thing too. Are there going to be repercussions about one of the things? So I mean, I guess to kind of get where this like story is going, essentially what happens at the end of the issue is that the main character is trying to find out more about herself. And in doing so, she ends up losing her scythe to the dude that, she hates her job.
It.
But then
she starts
to figure out that maybe she's a little bit different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? She starts to get maybe some powers that other people don't have. And she's kind of trying to figure it out. In doing so, she gets loosely suspended from her job, right? Because she's not doing her job properly.
Loosely suspended sounds like a goal.
Like
go home. You're gonna get paid. Think about what you did.
You're getting paid for this.
That's like a police thing, though, right? They're the only ones that get that. Sorry, didn't mean to go there, but I just feel like they're the only ones that get like. Usually, when you like mess up at your job, they're like, you either got to show up tomorrow and do it right or go home. It's not like take a minute, go to your lake house, hang out for a while. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
And yeah, for those of you who've never read Grimm, there's a hashtag Grimm at the bottom. If you put that in, you have a chance to read this.
Yeah, you can get this. You can get this trade paperback. It'll get shipped to you. It'll show up at your house. You can open it and then you can read it. And in the first couple pages, you'll be like, "Oh my god, this is a very, very beautiful comic," and I'm very surprised. And then it gets more pretty. Like it gets even as the destruction increase, as the more terrible shit happens, the prettier this comic gets. I kind of like that.
It kind of gets crazy. I think the third issue ends with a panel in Vegas, and sorry for over there, but
I love I love the Vegas transition.
Yeah, it goes into Vegas, and like the colors of this are super, super, super bright. And that's the thing, like seeing Vegas in it is great. And yeah, like I said, this book is technically 7 issues in, but the trade comes out tomorrow. So if you're at your new comic book shop and you don't,
do you guys know how cool Cole and I am? We get comics before they come out and get to talk to you about them.
Fun fact, if you are not as cool, you can also go to Hoopla if your local library has Hoopla, and you can spend 5 credits because each individual issue is there. And the cool thing about Boom Books is if you get into Boom Books, you can use 1 credit every month to read that single issue the day it comes out. So like whenever issue 8 comes out, you can use 1 credit. I used it to read it there just to kind of get through and read this book. We also like looked at the review of the trade. From what I saw, there wasn't a ton of back matter. I don't know if that's your huge jam. It's probably not going to be like crazy because there isn't a ton of stuff, I guess. It's just mostly they write all of the creators, they draw them in Grimm form and tell about themselves. So it's a cool little added. I would guess they should have a cover gallery and maybe it just wasn't released in this, but I could be completely wrong. So
it is odd though, because there continue to be so many covers, and not just like Boom covers, but this is a big store exclusive series. It's getting a lot of store exclusive covers. If that's I used to be in that game. I'm a recovering variant addict, and I used to be in that, dude. That store exclusive shit. I'm like, okay, I'm so like, we're gonna sidetrack, right? Because that's what going live with Blake is sidetracking. David Nakayama. I used to have to pay like $20 plus shipping for his covers. I was so into David Nakayama. I got to interview him a long time ago with X's for Podcasts. Shout out to X's for Podcasts because they're amazing, awesome people, and kind of taught me how to do all this shit that I do today. But anyways, we talked to him and I love his art. I love his covers. But before Marvel and DC picked him up, before he like started getting regular covers, he used to have to pay all this extra money. And now Marvel and DC are giving him like cover A's, right? So you can like buy, you can buy his new covers in shops a lot now. And it was so, another sidetrack. It was so cool to like talk to him and get to know him, like when he's doing these like exclusive covers, and then to like these, when like Marvel and DC are picking up his stuff, and to like talk to him through that transition. Right. And so that's just like, that's why I love doing this. Not just getting to know the community, which is great, like getting to know like the burrito guys and getting to know Cole, and now getting to like hang out and chill and talk comics with Cole, and getting to know our lovely commenters and wonderful people that like, talk to us about comics on Twitter and stuff all day. Like that, and getting to know like some of these creators that we get excited for and talk about. Like, I'm just want to thank everybody for like giving me that opportunity. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and like I think this is completely on that same off topic that you were of David Nakayama. I recently got to meet John Jang. He was at
nice
Comic-Con, and it's crazy because the week that I came was the first book I think that he had that was a DC B cover. It was the B cover for Son of Kal-El number 17.
Did you still have to pay like $50 for it though?
No, because I got it from my shop.
Oh, nice.
1 in 25. This was just a
just a B. Okay.
So
nice.
I remember I brought like 3 covers to him. And if you watch my Bearded and Cole's best covers of 2022, I'll show you what this looks like so you can see it. But I brought that cover to him. That cover came out that Tuesday. I met him on a Friday and I was like, hey, I'd like to get a remark from you. Here are the 3 covers of yours that I have. And he's like, I haven't even seen this one in person yet. So
that's cool.
You'll be the first remark. And he wrote first remark under the remark, which is kind of cool. Because now I own a little piece of his history, right? That is the first remark that he has done on that singular issue.
Did you? No. Okay. So you mess with the slabs, right?
Yeah. Sometimes. I got that slabbed. So what I had to do is I had to give that book to him on Friday, and he was like, hey, I can do a remark right now. If you want it better, how long are you going to be at the con all week? And I was like, well, I'm only coming today and Sunday. And he was like, yeah, if you just come back and pick it up Sunday, that's fine. So CBCS, they don't care. They just need you to get the book from him. And then they say, we're with CBCS, just letting you know if you charge more for grading, you did this artwork. And he's like, yep. And they're like, cool. So they'll put like, I don't know that they verify the art, but it's weird. It's in the verified thing. It says signed by John Jang at Grand Rapids Comic-Con. And cool. Then it'll say like, art or sketch included, so it doesn't like technically say he made the sketch. It just says that there's one included, but I think that loosely means he made it.
See, because I've got a Neil Adams Superman Wonder Woman sketch with Superman and Wonder Woman, like a dual portrait.
That might be hard for them to verify that.
Well, yeah, like and I never knew, like when I got it done, right, I put it in a case and put it in a frame and hung it. And I didn't really, when I got that done, I didn't know about comic grading. Like for real, like I was just like, that was like New 52 days, right? I was like back into comic book shops. Yeah. and I got to meet him and talk to him and paid him an exorbitant amount of money for a whole bunch of prints and that cover, and got to watch him draw. And it'll be an experience that I live with forever. But yeah, I've heard that
I just didn't know.
Oh, they can?
Art. Well, I didn't know if they would with art. They will.
Well, I was looking at Bearded's comment. I don't know.
If you
I don't, but I also don't care if it ever gets graded because I got to be in a bad place if I'm ever going to sell that. I'm not going to lie. Like that's not going to go.
One of the things I've been doing too is I've been bringing my daughter. My daughter still gets in free to these cons because of her age, and I've been giving her blank covers. So I'll bring those to CBS. And it's just more or less like I could probably just have her do it at home and give it to him, be like, she did this. It's just scribbles on a cover, right? But she does it there, right? She has fun doing it. People see her. She likes to do that. And then it just verified as art. So it'll say like, yeah, but
I thought you were gonna say
it'll
like,
say
you
sketch on
used her-
cover. So
or like anyway, but yeah, I have that, and I have a early Ryan Stegman Doc Ock sketch on a Superior Spider-Man #1 that I got on eBay that's not verified, but like the signature looks good and the art looks like I'm not like a guy, you know, like this was I'm showing my age, right? But when I bought that, like there weren't as many like eBay scammers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like eBay was a lot more safer and like a lot more safe. Like, wow. And I talked to her. I think I talked to her about writing. I was like, well, safer. Anyways, whatever. But like, so I have those two things. And like I said, when I got those, I didn't know anything about like, you know, grading and shit. I think I paid, I can't remember what I paid. I think it might have been 90. It might have been 90 for the Stegman sketch. But anyways, yeah.
What
What
is
were we
the
talking-
unique signature on a specific issue of Radiant Black? I'm trying to think. There might be something that I don't know, but hey, I'm going to maybe run this. So I'm just going to put this up. If anyone is still here and you have not entered Grim
You really should.
into
'Cause you
it,
can get a
we're going to
free
probably
awesome
do
free
like, we're going to
paperback.
do a minute. I'll say right now, I'm showing on my clock of us being live 51 minutes. So when we hit 52, we'll do it. So we've got 13. So thank you everyone for being part of this. And this is one of the things I think we want to
What,
do.
13 live viewers right now?
We have 13 people have entered the chat. We have about 8
Okay.
live viewers. So thank you
Nice.
those for the stayed
Damn, that's
around and
dope,
hung
though.
out with us. But yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I think Blake and I just kind of wanted to do is we kind of do this a little bit more is, you know, sometimes we might just be talking about a singular issue. Those
Yeah.
issues might be a little bit
Well,
quicker, right?
we
because
talked
we're-
about this today because we were like, what trades come out next week?
Yeah.
And so like not every week is a easy trade paperback. Like this week, I really want to read Manifest Destiny. But the 8th trade came out this week, right?
Yeah.
So like, are Cole and I going to read?
No,
8
because I haven't
trades
read
in a
any
week?
I haven't read any Manifest Destiny. And I cannot give you that amount of time. But if you're interested in reading another book that might be slightly similar to Manifest Destiny, known as Birthright,
Birthright's amazing.
I'm giving away the first trade on my Monday mail call video.
Dude,
so
you
go
know, I
find
just
that,
got
watch it, and answer a question.
Did you get the Skybound email about? Did you read Ghosted?
I did not.
That's Josh's like first big series. Go. All right, guys. Sidetracking again. He brought up Birthright, so this is Cole's fault. Birthright was Joshua Williamson's second series. His first big Image series. He did like an alien UFO series before that, but his first big Image series is called Ghosted. And it's like he pitched it as Ocean's 11 in a haunted house. And that's how it starts. And then it gets crazier. It goes for about 12 issues, maybe a couple more. But Skybound just sent out an email. Probably should subscribe to the Buzz Stack at blakesbuzz.com. Anyways, I'm gonna drop the press release probably tomorrow or the next day. But anyways, they're releasing a compendium. I wish it was a hardcover. I really do, but that's one of my favorite comics. Is this 12-issue Ghosted run about these con artists who stumble into a haunted house, who stumble into some bad juju, and everything spins out and gets crazy. And there's curses and spells and backstabbing. And he did that before Birthright. And then he went into Birthright, and Birthright is equally phenomenal. So whatever Cole's giving away, you need to sign up for that too.
Yeah. So this is Blake's Buzz. So if you guys are here in the chat, you want to click that, just enter it. But let's go ahead and draw the
Let's
winner.
do it.
I've never done this
Oh, look at
before.
that. It's going through everybody. Slowing down. It's slowing down.
And we got Callie and Jordan squad. So
Hey,
David, we'll probably have to talk.
congratulations.
Oh, it looks like Brian. Sorry, Brian, you got in here just slightly too late, I think. But David, we'll have to talk. I'll have to see if there's a way that we can get that to you. You are in Canada, so I didn't kind of know.
Oh,
that they would do
no.
that. But worst case, we'll figure it out. I think that there's probably a way that we can do something with
Figure it out.
Comixology, but we'll figure it out.
Figure
And
it
I know
out.
too. You did not, unfortunately, Roscoe, but thank you for questioning.
Someone should get a bonus comment for the Grim
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, that was comics book debate. The only thing that's bummer about this platform is that you can't really like do anything added to that. I mean, I guess I could do a draw again, but yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there. So oh, dang it, just play it again, man. So I think, David, you want me to just run it back. So if that is the case, just verify that that's what you mean by play it again.
Yes, we need verification.
Because if so, there is a button right here that says draw again. But Blake, since we're here, I think that we've been trying to maybe keep these to an hour. So what are you thinking? Do you have any final thoughts? What are your thoughts? Are you going to continue reading the single issues on this now that you're loosely caught up, or are you going to wait and read it in the trades?
No, the way the trade ends, there's too many things going on. Like I told Cole earlier in the green room, it was very hard because I have the next 2 issues, and I was like,
Thanks,
like
David.
read them, because I wanted to tell everybody like, hey, like it's still good. It's gonna keep going good, and it is. And then today I released the I thought it said Ignacio.
Hey, Flash
Who's
Ray.
Flash Ray?
Yeah,
Are you in America?
He is. He lives in California, and he is a 49ers fan. So David, so Flash Ray, make sure you go over to Callie and Jordan Squad, which is David. Give him a subscribe because he passes nonsense.
Sign up for him. He gave you a free
Flash
comic.
Ray, I know that we're friends on IG. So just send me your address there and we'll get that over to you. Yeah, so I think that I'm going to agree with you. I'm probably going to check these next 2 issues out on Hoopla and kind of keep reading from there. I liked it. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did at the end.
It won me over the longer it went on.
This is one of those books though that I think personally, like, the trade overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, which is still, pretty solid. But
I do a 7.5, 8 if I had a good day.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
if it
I hate giving numbers. I hate giving numbers, but
that's why I do
it.
You specifically said you hate giving numbers. I'm continuously gonna throw numbers down every single time we do one of these. But yeah, I liked it. I think I'm going to continue reading this in the single issues that we, they're out on Hoopla. I might continue doing that. I've kind of formed this new love for digital reading. But then again, and thank you, Bearded, for dropping some of these links down in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
I have not been doing a great job of that lately. But yeah, I think that overall, this is a book that you should check out if you like action adventure comics with some slight horror elements. That is a very niche market, probably. But yeah, this is kind of an action adventure comic at its whole. And I think that, most people will probably enjoy this. It has gotten a lot of accolades because of that. So, yeah.
And if you saw the preview that I released today, that because Boom released a press list or a presser today, and they released there's like 5 or 6 pages in there, and it's a prison riot. That's all I'm gonna say. And
oh, sweet. Yeah, that's
it looks really good. It looks really good.
Well, I'm kind of pumped really then. That kind of confuses me. I'm glad that I haven't seen it yet. So maybe I need to read those other 2 issues.
So yeah, it's definitely a comic book to stick with, and Boom is right to, like, they're promoting it, they're getting it out there. Stephanie Phillips deserves all the respect. She's a great writer. Flaviano on art, you just have one name, you're just a fucking stellar mad scientist. Like, that's super metal. Rico Renzi on colors. Wow, whoops. The colors are beautiful, like, for real. And
I think the colors are probably my favorite part of
it's Jen Bartel-esque. It's fucking like neon phosphorescent, glowing, beautiful, mostly warmer tones, which you wouldn't necessarily expect in a comic about dead people and death and afterlife. And I like how warm the colors are continuously. And Tom Napolitano on letters, you do a great job. If you were the one who did the lyric placement and stuff, I know sometimes I get confused on when the letters make like sound effects as opposed to the artists.
Yeah.
But if like whoever did the text bubbles in the composition look wonderful. So and the varying like effects of those, like when different characters take over, or when, like we mentioned earlier, when Jess's face turns into a skull and the lettering colors and bubble colors change. So yeah, Tom, you did a great job there. The song lyrics look great. this is another moment of where I'm very excited to work with Cole, because like we both love AWA, but I'm behind in AWA. So like, last week on issue 1, when Cole said, let's do this new AWA book, I was like, okay. And I was like, wow, this is so good. And this week when we decided to do the new Boom trade again, like we're 2 for 2. So like, why stop now? We'll be back next week, I guess.
Yeah. And once again, this book drops tomorrow at your local comic book shop. If you're buying it off Amazon, it takes a week later to come out. So if you have a local comic shop, ask them if they have the Grim trade if it's something you're interested in. And yeah, once again, we'll be trying to do these weekly. I think that next week, who knows, we might do an issue 1, we might do a full trade. We're still kind of debating what there is, but if there's any like things that you guys see from some of these Image, some of these other indie publishers that is a number 1 or a trade that you would like us to do, leave those comments down below, because we can get to that stuff hopefully the weeks before they come out. Even if you guys want us to go into some deep cuts of some stuff that's already came out, we'll probably eventually get to that point.
Maybe we'll do some spin-off episodes.
Yeah, we'll do some spin-offs, or deep some thick cuts, as the boys over at the Wednesday Pull List like to say. But that's it. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I think we had a good amount of people here, and we'll probably be giving it away. If we do an issue 1, we'll probably give away that first issue, and if we're doing trades, if they're available, we'll probably be giving away these trades too. So please make sure to come back and get into that. But Blake, do you have anything else going on today? I know you're kind of recovering from being sick, so you got anything big coming up on the Blake Buzz?
I've got a couple good interviews lined up. I just dropped an interview with Anthony Cleveland, and we talk about another trade coming out this week, Chosen Volume 2. The Blake's Buzz podcast, we interview Anthony talking about Volume 1, Volume 2, and one of my favorite comics, Stargazer. We're doing that. You know what? Fuck it. What are they gonna do? Fire me? Ahoy Comics just sent me the Second Coming Volume 3 number 1. There's gonna be an upcoming interview with some people involved in that. And I'm anybody who's sending me emails and DMs, I'm trying to catch up. Please forgive me. Like it's just me and by myself. It's me and Cole. And Cole isn't involved in Blake's Buzz. But no, I'm just really appreciative that like Cole brought me on here, and to have someone to talk comic books with, like having a co-host that like you're vibing with is a really different feeling than I'm used to. So that's awesome. I've been having fun. It's so cool. There were so many people in the chat tonight, like talking comments, hanging out with us. Like, thank you so much. Just thank you. Thank you forever. Thank you for days. Thank you for years. Like, this is fun. I love comics. I love talking comics, and this is neat. This is neat.
Yeah. So once again, thank you everyone for stopping by. We'll be back again, hopefully next week. And yeah, usually we'll try and post this stuff on about Saturday or Sunday, just to kind of let you know what we're going to be talking about. And hopefully it's something that you're interested in. But all have a wonderful night. As always, I've been Cole, and he's been Blake.
I've been Blake, and he's been Cole. And we read a book.
We did.